Hi everybody! It's so nice to have you here with me. And the eagle is done and now the fun has begun. Orchid fun. Oh, it's kind of like if you're a painter or any hobby you have, quilting or something like that, and you can't leave it alone. I thought, oh, I'll finish the eagle, in June or late summer. I couldn't leave it alone. Everything was getting delayed, put on the back burner. But it's done and it's out of my hair. Now it's flying towards the mountains. So we are going to repot my Dendrobium. Now, whoa. Get yourself comfortable. This is the one we're going to repot. There's only 3 flowers left on it. And it has been in this pot at least 3 years. And you will see there is 1, 2, 3. This is, just a minute. 1, 2, 3. This is a new spike here. So it's very overcrowded. It's been in here too long. So we are going to repot it. I brought most of my orchids that are still in flower as a background because it was so exciting in December watching them grow and the spikes come up and waiting to see what happened. It was so exciting, and now here we are. They were flowering the end of December and January, and here we are the end of April, and they are still just doing wonderful. Some of them have lots of new buds. And so I probably don't put them out on the patio for a while. I'm slowly getting them all ready, make sure everyone's been repotted that needs potted, and is going out there for the growing season. But it's still a little cold at night. We've had no rain in, I think, 2 months. I don't know how long. We were supposed to get some yesterday and it never happened. So we need it, but it has been nice. So let's talk about pots. Now, I think we'll start with pots. This Dendrobium is in a latex paint gallon pot, because latex paint is put in plastic. You won't find your oil paints in this, but you'll find the latex. And the handle has been taken off, and Jack drilled these nice big holes. I love these big holes. So it's been in this pot for at least 3 years. It's still in the old big bark I had. It was big, quite big and chunky. And so I'm trying to decide on my pot size. And I know that everybody says, make them small, put them in a small pot. No, I'm not doing that, because when I put it in this pot, it was small, and it needs to allow for the growth that plant is going to have in the next couple years. I'm going to say couple, but with me it's probably 3. Because I'm not putting anything that holds moisture in there for too long. And they like lots of air circulation, so we need holes. So I thought, I'm stepping up. Everybody's going to go, oh no, too big. But I decided after great amount of research and thinking to go ahead with this pot. Now this is a regular flower pot. Jack just drilled some holes in, and in the bottom it cracked, and he patched it really good. So this is the pot I'm going to use. And I'm going to put this in here, and you can see how much bigger it actually is. I mean, it looks big, but where's the growth going to come? On the edges mostly. So height-wise, you can see I have airspace here. For more than one reason. There's my growth, and it tapers quite a bit as it goes down. So this is my reasoning, and that's what I've done before. So that's what I want to do. And because we know the Dendrobiums get very heavy, and we don't want them tipping over, I have washed some rocks. I'm going to put rocks in the bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you know 13 is kind of a lucky number with me. So instead of putting I'm going to put the last one, which is a piece of old dried cement, 13. Now that is fairly heavy, but there's still lots of space in here. So we're all set. Now, the other thing is I want to share with you the mistakes I made in the past and how I'm changing them. The number one mistake I made in the past, everybody should do, is to keep a record of when you repotted it. I am terrible at keeping records. Anything I have to write down, forget it. Some things I remember, some I don't. I'm terrible. The grocery list, Jack's been trying to get me to write grocery list for years, and it usually ends up on the table. We're out shopping. He says, well, what was on the list? Anyway, so now I was at the Dollar Tree, and I found these, $1.25 each. Now they were straight, and I walked into my little kind of painting, computer, everything room, sewing, and one was all curved like this. And Jack knew I was using this pot, you see. And I thought, what a good idea. Because the other mistake I made is I thought they looked so beautiful, you know, going out like this and letting them get big. But I found it's going to take up a lot of space. And I want to show you this one too. Now I have to go to the Dollar Tree and get another. I have to get another 2 of those because you see, they take up too much space when you let them do that. So I thought of all the ways I could stake them. And I was in the Dollar Tree and I saw these and I thought, wow, I think I like this. So let's put this here for a minute. Now we already got rocks in there, and these are going to go here. I have to just cut those labels off. I mean, really, I thought of putting stakes in and be tying things, and when I saw he had these and he had curved them, I thought, well, what a great idea, because I could hook them together like that, and I can let them come out where I want them to come out. The hardest part will just be getting it in there in the first place because they slowly have to adjust to being more upright. Now when I brought these in the fall, I put them out in the greenhouse because I have found here Nobile Dendrobiums like to be in the low 50s for a couple months at least in the winter. So Halloween to Easter, or I put them out there on the top shelf. Now if you have a garage or a room you know stays about 50 but still has lots of light because they do like the light, then that would be perfect. So they were out there, and then I went out there to check on everything in the winter, in the late winter, spring, whatever it was, and I seen little nibbins coming. And I started to slowly give a tiny bit of water so that they didn't shrink bad, and the new growth had some water. So I slowly started then, and some people thought maybe I'd be encouraging keikis by watering too soon. That didn't happen. I have beautiful blooms, and it was that beautiful yellow-orange color. I just love them. So it's a species because I had ordered it years ago, and it's Oriental Smile Fantasy, ADAOS. So I get my little butterfly. So we are going to dump it out of this pot, see how it looks after it's been in there for so darn long. And maybe I'll just move this here for a minute. And we'll see what we got. I think you can see it if I do it here. I also have my compost here in case I need it. So I'm just gonna, I wonder if I should even make this come here. This is a very heavy duty drain rack. So maybe if I do that, that might be better. Okay. I know I'm gonna make a mess because I usually do. Oh, I have to tell you one story before we do this. Okay, when we were set up to do the eagle on the patio, there was a big old, it was the size of a piece of plywood we put over a table, so I had all my stuff out and pictures of the eagle and everything. But it was made of like cardboard pushed together. And Jack had said you should paint it like you did that box because it got so hard. So I was outside putting the primer on, and that stuff got worse than the cardboard. It got all mushy, and I was going to stand it up on its long, narrow end, and it started to like, so I had it down on some plastic on the cement, and it was bending over. And Jack said, "Do you want a stool?" And I said, "I think so, because then I'd be down with it." So he comes with this stool that was perfectly clean. It's a drummer's stool or something. And it was just this big. And he said, "Don't get paint on it." And you know I'm messy. I can't help myself. So anyway, he said, "Don't get paint on it." So I had, the board almost completely finished. I'm sitting out here and I've got it leaning away from me towards the back of the yard. And I've just got on this small ladder that's kind of like a teepee shape because it's folded like that. And it's leaning back a bit. Well, here I am sitting there. It's all nicely painted. I've had my plastic down. I've been so neat. The wind came up. The wind came and blew it towards me. And I fell off. I hit the patio door. My hands got all wet from the board, but guess what else? It landed on the stool. Oh my God. So I get up, I'm trying to get it off of me and clean up to some degree. And of course, where I was doing the bottom edge of the board, there was paint all over the plastic. So I'm trying to push the board back up against the ladder, and I'm stepping in all this paint. I had paint on my hands, paint on me, paint on the stool, paint everywhere. So I thought, what am I going to do? So I got it slightly back, and the wind had gone, and I had to take my shoes off and go over to the paint. Of course, there was paint all over the hose handle. I'm not going into it any deeper, but it was one heck of a mess. So, I've wiped down the stool, and there's still some paint in here that I couldn't get out. So, anyway, yes, I'm messy. Let's forget that. Jack went around and cleaned everything up after me. Cleaned the hose handle. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, I don't want to do it very gently. I don't want it to break anything. I have not watered it. I'm not a Dendrobium specialist. This is just what I do here. And like I say, it's been in here a long time. And it's, maybe if I kind of put this way. Let's see. I don't want to break anything. You are getting this live while it's happening. Oh dear. Okay, let's try again. Oh my goodness. You know what? Maybe some water will help. What do you think? Let me put some water in there. Put the compost bin back in the cupboard. Oh boy. It's in plastic. I don't think it should be stuck too badly, but maybe some water will help. You never know. Let's give it a little water. And I think oh yeah, there's so many roots against the side of the pot. I see that now. It's going to be challenging. I don't want to use a knife, but what I'm going to do is face it towards the sink and give it a real push. Now, it's just in bark, and I think back then I think I'm going to wet it again. I think that helps. So we'll add a little more water. Like I said, it's been in this pot for at least 3 years because I didn't keep a thing, but it was in it. They were just about this big when I first got them. And I started out with the small crowd pot. And you can see it's been quite a few years since I've had this real big bark. And that's what it was in, this real big bark. I like that bark, but they say smaller bark is actually better because the roots of a Dendrobium are so much more smaller. So let's try again. I suppose it's lucky that it's in plastic, that I can do this. Now, if this was in, I know they say terracotta is really good, but maybe the roots would stick. I think I could be a 6 feet taller. Wow. You want to see what's happening? I could move you in here a little closer. That's sort of what's happening. Let me move you into the sink. Let's let you have a good look here. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're going in. We're going in. Okay. I can't see you, but you can see me. There we go. Okay. I'm trying to get the best part of my hand supporting it. I'm pulling and shaking. I don't want to break anything. It's coming. It is stuck around the outside of the pot, so. And you can also split your Dendrobium, which I chose not to. Okay, we're coming. We're coming. Now, it has just been in bark, and I can show you that too. Maybe there was a bit of lava rock. Oh, we got roots going way down here and in again. Oh dear. Well, these ones are going to have to, let me just cut them. I put my scissors in the, heated them up so that we won't have any troubles. Okay, okay. There. Now, I don't care what people say. Maybe in BC, the bark is wonderful. Now, this plant, look at it. It's full of bark in here. I know, here we are, messy again. And it gets watered when I water the rest of mine. And if it's summer, and it sits right out, the phalaenopsis go on that back wall. But the Dendrobiums, you'll see later when they go out there, they get a little more sun. I like them to get a little more sun. Now, I don't have to cut any roots off. And I just want to give them, there is some that have fell off, and I'm going to show you in the sink. Okay, this is what we got. It's pretty healthy. And when I put it in the park, in the new pot, I'm going to try and get a bunch of bark into the center first. So let's give this another little rinse. Jack should see this because he saw someone growing in moss, and you know, this is how, like the roots you're supposed to have. Now, I am not so fussy that, and I don't like to injure them too much. I don't care if every little piece of bark is out, but I do. Let's get some out of there. Bark is, once it starts to do its job, it takes a few months. It has natural tannins. It lets air flow nicely. So there's some that are really stuck in here. I debated taking them off, but you know what? They're coming because I wet it a bit. So, and what I'm telling you is just what I do, because you know, when you buy them, you go to sales, they have small pots, and yes, but really, oh, they say you get more blooms in smaller pots, etc. But, and I'm not arguing with that, but I'm just saying in the wild, they're not stuck in. So, I think we just about got it. A few on the top here. They're top ones, I'm not too worried about them because they don't sit in moisture. So I'll be showing you how many roots actually fell off in the mess I've made as usual, but it's sure better than paint mess. So we want to put it in this pot. Okay. And I think I should put some I've got the bark. It's been soaking here in, it's been soaking, are you seeing now? Yeah, it's been soaking in, I put seaweed extract. I didn't put any CalMag in, but I did put seaweed extract. Now, you remember that the height of this pan, this old pot to this one is very close. So I think I have enough bark, and it's just enough to hold this back. Once I get it in there, I can move this closer, because I'm going to have to just sift bark all in through it, because no matter how I try to stuff them. So if I hold it like that, then I can slowly put the bark in. You see, this is going to be so nice, and I won't have them splaying all over the place anymore. So then I just take my bark, and I don't want any air pockets in there. Not that they don't love air pockets, but because I'm shaking it all down inside. Shake, shake, shake. You know, I love my Phalaenopsis, but it took me so many years to figure out what to do here for a healthy flowering plant that I also love my Dendrobiums now. Now, the new shoots seem to be here, so this way they're in the middle, and if any of these spikes want to branch out, they got room all around. They can do 3 years of growth. So now if I take it and I shake it a bit, there. Now, I think what I should do is, now Jack, he just, you see what he did this. He said, look it, you can just loop those. And then if I want to use a tie to part of it, I can. So if I go over to this side and I loop, there, see? Now they'll all go up, and where there's a hole here, I can stake to the edge. Also, when they do flower, they'll be easier to see than hanging upside down, unless of course you had them somewhere. I should put the bark over here. Now, I should, but I'm not, because it'll just make more mess. It's all right, I got my ocean sandals on. Okay, we want that bark to fall down in the pot. And I will be staking this one to here. And I can do that for $1.25. So I have to go back to the dollar store and get some for the other one before I repot it. Now, you see what I'm going to do is, it's getting low in the pot, so now that I got a bunch of bark in, I'm raising it a bit. I'm just pulling it up because it was like kind of an accordion of roots. It's going to be good and firm with all those rocks in the bottom. So add some more bark. This one you need, I don't know, more hands, more hands. I love it though. I love repotting and see how it's really working. And we got some phalaenopsis we have to do before they go out. We're going to be very busy because we got another Dendrobium to do. I don't put any moss, and it's been very dry here. Like, I didn't even water these phals. I didn't water them halfway, and I should have, because the reason I didn't is when we got our shots, it was on watering day, and I left it an extra day, and then we had to pick up our glasses, and they got kind of neglected. So we're going to fall back in routine. I might give them a little sip with the watering can like I do sometimes. So this one here has snuck out. And I'm going to put him in. There. I haven't broken anything. Well, other than a few roots, which, yeah, we're doing good. I'm going to give you a close-up of how this is looking. I went down to Buckerfield's and ordered another bag of bark. They couldn't get the large, but they can get the medium, and I've been happy with it. So, you know, you kind of get set in your ways, you think, but really, the medium holds a lot more moisture. So, I think we're doing good. Shake, 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 shake. That is not going to tip over. It's good and heavy. It's got rocks on the bottom. Now they like a little more light than your phals to get really to get your flowers and hardy growth. They like lots of bright light. Now, I don't put mine outside. Something would eat them. I've learned that. They go in this screened-in patio, but I put them on a table where they get more light than the phals. They can take, as long as it's not that late afternoon hot sun, they can take a lot more light than your phals. And it's that light that is going to provide the energy for you to have good growth and prepare for the flowers for next year. So I'm going to show you my mess. And I'm going to say thank you for joining me. And it's always fun, and you never know what's going to happen when I'm around. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to show you my mess before I close up that I have to clean up. Okay, we're headed over here. Okay. Now you can see the bark is at 3 years. This is my big bark. It could be 4 years. Now, a bunch of roots did fall off, but let's face it, we had lots of roots. But this is not like crumbly soil, but it definitely needed done. And it was very dry. And I feel like the fells, I give them a little bit more water in the summer, but not so much. But I just judge by how it looks when I look in these holes. And I think I have to still shake my pot a bit, check all these holes, because there's one there could use it, and make sure, I'll take maybe a little skewer and make sure it's all down inside. So these will go here, and I'll put a little tie on them so they stay. And I have a mess here, and I have all kinds of mess down here. So thanks for joining me. It is now cleanup time, and one successfully potted Dendrobium. Bye for now.